that the danger is not AI. This particular argument asserts that AI is just a tool. Humans are the... And what would need to happen and who would need to act? Is it government legislation? Is it...
Unfortunately, I don't think making it illegal is sufficient. There are different jurisdictions. There is, loopholes. And what are you going to do if somebody does it? You're going to fine them for destroying humanity, like very steep fines for it? Like, what are you going to do? It's not enforceable. If they do create it, now the superintelligence is in charge. So the judicial system we have is not impactful. And all the punishments we have are designed for punishing humans. Prisons, capital punishment doesn't apply to AI.
The problem I have is when I have these conversations, I never feel like I walk away with hope that something's going to go well. And what I mean by that is I never feel like I walk away with some kind of clear set of actions that can course correct what might happen here. So what should I do? What should the person sat at home listening to this do?
You talk to a lot of people who are building this technology.
Mm-hmm.
Ask them precisely to explain some of those things they claim to be impossible, how they solved it or going to solve it before they get to where they're going.
Do you know, I don't think Sam Altman wants to talk to me.
I don't know. He seems to go on a lot of podcasts. Maybe he does.
He wants to go on mine. I wonder why that is. I'd love to speak to him, but I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants me to interview him.
Have an open challenge. Maybe money is not the incentive, but whatever attracts people like that, whoever can convince you that it's possible to control and make safe superintelligence gets the prize. They come on your show and prove their case. Anyone, if no one claims the prize or even accepts the challenge after a few years, maybe we don't have anyone with solutions. We have companies valued, again, at billions and billions of dollars working on safe superintelligence. We haven't seen their output yet.
Mm. Yeah, I'd like to speak to Ilya as well, because I know he's working on safe superintelligence. So,
notice a pattern too. If you look at history of AI safety organizations or departments within companies, they usually start well, very ambitious, and then they fail and disappear. So OpenAI had superintelligence alignment team. The day they announced it, I think they said they're going to solve it in 4 years. Like half a year later, they canceled the team. And there is dozens of similar examples. Creating a perfect safety for superintelligence, perpetual safety as it keeps improving, modifying, interacting with people, you're never going to get there. It's impossible. There is a big difference between difficult problems in computer science and P-complete problems and impossible problems. And I think control, indefinite control of superintelligence is such a problem.
So what's the point trying then if it's impossible?
Well, I'm trying to prove that it is specifically that. Once we establish something is impossible, fewer people will waste their time claiming they can do it and looking for money. So many people going, give me $1 billion in 2 years and I'll solve it for you. Well, I don't think you will.
But people aren't going to stop striving towards it. So if there's no attempts to make it safe and there's more people increasingly striving towards it, then it's inevitable.
But it changes what we do. If we know that it's impossible to make it right, to make it safe, then this direct path of just build it as soon as you can becomes suicide mission. Hopefully fewer people will pursue that. They may go in other directions. Like, again, I'm a scientist, I'm an engineer. I love AI. I love technology. I use it all the time. Build useful tools. Stop building agents. Build narrow superintelligence, not a general one. I'm not saying you shouldn't make billions of dollars. I love billions of dollars. But don't kill everyone, yourself included.
They don't think they're going to, though.
Then tell us why. I hear things about intuition. I hear things about we'll solve it later. Tell me specifically in scientific terms, publish a peer-reviewed paper explaining how you're going to control superintelligence.
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange to even bother if there was even a 1% chance of human extinction. It's strange to do something. Like if there was a 1% chance, someone told me there was a 1% chance that if I got in a car, I might not be alive. I would not get in the car. If you told me there was a 1% chance that if I drank whatever liquid is in this cup right now, I might die, I would not drink the liquid. Even if there was $1 billion if I survived. So the 99% chances I get $1 billion, the 1% is I die, I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't take the chance.
It's worse than that. Not just you die, everyone dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, would we let you drink it at any odds? That's for us to decide. You don't get to make that choice for us. To get consent from human subjects, you need them to comprehend what they are consenting to. If those systems are unexplainable, unpredictable, how can they consent? They don't know what they are consenting to. Mm-hmm. So it's impossible to get consent by definition. So this experiment can never be run ethically. By definition, they are doing unethical experimentation on human subjects.
Do you think people should be protesting?
There are people protesting. There is Stop AI, there is Pause AI, they block offices of OpenAI. They do it weekly, monthly, quite a few actions, and they're recruiting new people.
Do you think more people should be protesting? Do you think that's an effective solution?
If you can get it to a large enough scale to where majority of population is participating, it would be impactful. I don't know if they can scale from current numbers to that, but I support everyone trying everything peacefully and legally.
And for the person listening at home, what should they be doing? What? Because they don't want to feel powerless. None of us want to feel powerless.
So it depends on what scale we're asking about. Time scale. I was saying, like, this year, your kid goes to college, what major to pick? Should they go to college at all?
Yeah.
Should you switch jobs? Should you go into certain industries? Those questions we can answer. We can talk about immediate future. What should you do in 5 years with this being created? For an average person, not much. Just like they can't influence World War III, nuclear holocaust, anything like that. It's not something anyone's going to ask them about. Today, if you want to be a part of this movement, join Pause AI, join Stop AI. Those are organizations currently trying to build up momentum to bring democratic powers to influence those individuals.
So in the near term, not a huge amount. I was wondering if there are any interesting strategies in the near term. Like, should I be thinking differently about my family, about... I mean, you've got kids, right? You've got 3 kids?
That I know about, yeah.
3 kids. How are you thinking about parenting in this world that you see around the corner? How are you thinking about what to say to them, the advice to give them, what they should be learning?
So there is general advice outside of this domain that you should live your every day as if it's your last. It's a good advice no matter what. If you have 3 years left or 30 years left, you lived your best life. So try to not do things you hate for too long. Do interesting things. Do impactful things. If you can do all that while helping people, do that.
Simulation theory is a interesting sort of adjacent subject here, because as computers begin to accelerate and get more intelligent, and we're able to, do things with AI that we could never have imagined in terms of, like, imagine the worlds that we could create with virtual reality. I think it was Google that recently released, what was it called? Like the AI worlds.
You take a picture and it generates a whole world.
Yeah, and you can move through the world. I'll put it on the screen for people to see, but Google have released this technology which allows you, I think with a simple prompt actually, to make a 3-dimensional world that you can then navigate through. And in that world, it has memory. So in the world, if you paint on a wall and turn away, you look back, the wall...
It's persistent.
Yeah, it's persistent. And when I saw that, I go, God, Jesus, bloody hell, this is like the foothills of being able to create a simulation that's indistinguishable from everything I see here.
Right. That's why I think we are in one. That's exactly the reason. AI is getting to the level of creating human agents, human-level agents, and virtual reality is getting to the level of being indistinguishable from ours.
So you think this is a simulation?
I'm pretty sure we are in a simulation, yeah.
For someone that isn't familiar with the simulation arguments, what are the first principles here that convince you that we are currently living in a simulation?
So you need certain technologies to make it happen. If you believe we can create human-level AI, and you believe we can create virtual reality as good as this in terms of resolution, haptics, whatever properties it has, then I commit right now, the moment this is affordable, I'm going to run billions of simulations of this exact moment, making sure you are statistically in one.
Say that last part again. You're going to run.
I'm going to commit right now, when it's very affordable, it's like $10 a month to run it. I'm going to run 1 billion simulations of this interview.
Why?
because statistically that means you are in one right now. The chances of you being in the real one is 1 in a billion.
Okay, so to make sure I'm clear on this.
It's a retroactive placement.
Yeah, so the minute it's affordable, then you can run billions of them, and they would feel and appear to be exactly like this interview right now.
Right. So assuming the AI has internal states, experiences, qualia. Some people argue that they don't. Some say they already have it. That's a separate philosophical question. But if we can simulate this, I will.
Some people might misunderstand. You're not saying that you will. You're saying that someone will.
I can also do it. I don't mind.
Okay.
Of course, others will do it before I get there. If I'm getting it for $10, somebody got it for $1,000. That's not the point. If you have technology, we're definitely running a lot of simulations for research, for entertainment, games, all sorts of reasons. And the number of those greatly exceeds the number of real worlds we're in. Look at all the video games kids are playing. Every kid plays 10 different games. There's, a billion kids in the world. So there is 10 billion simulations in one real world.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so when we think about advanced AI, superintelligent systems. Their thinking is not like ours. They think in a lot more detail. They run experiments. So running a detailed simulation of some problem at the level of creating artificial humans and simulating the whole planet would be something they'll do routinely. So there is a good chance this is not me doing it for $10. It's a future simulation thinking about something in this world.
So it could be the case that a species of humans or a species of intelligence in some form got to this point where they could affordably run simulations that are indistinguishable from this, and they decided to do it, and this is it right now. And it would make sense that they would run simulations as experiments or for games or for entertainment. And also, when we think about time, in the world that I'm in this simulation that I could be in right now, time feels long, relatively. I have 24 hours in a day, but in their world, it could be...
Time is relative.
Relative, yeah. It could be a second. My whole life could be a millisecond in there.
Right. You can change speed of simulations you're running, for sure.
So your belief is that this is probably a simulation?
Most likely. And there is a lot of agreement on that. If you look again, returning to religions, every religion basically describes what? A superintelligent being, an engineer, a programmer, creating a fake world for testing purposes or for whatever. But if you took the simulation hypothesis paper, you go to jungle, you talk to primitive people, a local tribe, and in their language you tell them about it. Go back 2 generations later. They have religion. That's basically what the story is.
Religion, describes a simulation theory, basically. Right. Somebody created...
So by default, that was the first theory we had. And now with science, more and more people are going like, I'm giving it non-trivial probability. A few people are as high as I am, but a lot of people give it some credence.
What percentage are you at in terms of believing that we are currently living in a simulation?
Very close to certainty.
And what does that mean for the nature of your life? If you're close to 100% certain that we are currently living in a simulation, does that change anything in your life?
So all the things you care about are still the same. Pain still hurts. Love still love, right? Like those things are not different, so it doesn't matter. They're still important. That's what matters. The little 1% different is that I care about what's outside the simulation. I want to learn about it. I write papers about it. So that's the only impact.
And what do you think is outside of the simulation?
I don't know. But we can look at this world and derive some properties of the simulators. So clearly, brilliant engineer, brilliant scientist, brilliant artist. Not so good with morals and ethics. Room for improvement.
In our view of what morals and ethics should be?
Well, we know there is suffering in the world. So unless you think it's ethical to torture children, then I'm questioning your approach.
But in terms of incentives, to create a positive incentive, you probably also need to create negative incentives. Suffering seems to be one of the negative incentives built into our design to stop me doing things I shouldn't do. So like put my hand in a fire, it's going to hurt.
But it's all about levels of suffering, right? So unpleasant stimuli, negative feedback doesn't have to be at like negative infinity hell levels. You don't want to burn alive and feel it. You want to be like, oh, this is uncomfortable. I'm going to stop.
It's interesting because we assume that they don't have great morals and ethics, but we too we'd take animals and cook them and eat them for dinner, and we also conduct experiments on mice and rats.
But to get university approval to conduct an experiment, you submit a proposal, and there is a panel of ethicists who would say, you can't experiment on humans, you can't burn babies, you can't eat animals alive. All those things would be banned.
In most parts of the world.
Where they have ethical boards.
Yeah.
Some places don't bother with it, so they have easier approval process.
It's funny when you talk about the simulation theory, there's an element of the conversation that makes life feel less meaningful in a weird way. I know it doesn't matter, but whenever I have this conversation with people, not on the podcast, about are we living in a simulation, you almost see a little bit of meaning come out of their life for a second, and then they forget and then they carry on. But the thought that this is a simulation almost posits that it's not important, or that I think humans want to believe that this is the highest level and we're at the most important, and it's all about us. We're quite egotistical by design. And it's an interesting observation I've always had when I have these conversations with people, that it seems to strip something out of their life.
Do you feel religious people feel that way? They know there is another world, and the one that matters is not this one. Do you feel they don't